Hello friends and beaders, and welcome back to my mat, and welcome back to the channel, and welcome to all my new subscribers. Thank you guys so much for being here. What a gorgeous palette for a goddess. So I am going to, I've already got most of it going because it does take some time, especially on the stretch, because, you know, the stretch is flimsier, it's not wire, we can't feed it as fast. So instead of this being a 45-minute video, I'm going to try to cut it down, but I've got it started, like I said, but I'm going to take you to the beginning so you can see exactly how to make this, and I hope that this inspires you all. So, special request, here you go, and thank you, by the way, because I love bracelets, never mind goddess, and never mind stretch. So, we're just all hitting 100 here with this one. Now, let's talk about what is the methodology to a goddess. It's basically being in scale with your beads and your jump rings. So I have 8mm jump rings and 8mm beads. You can absolutely tweak that. So if you're going to use 6mm beads, you could use 7 or 5mm jump rings. If you're using 4mm beads, you could get away with using 4 or 5mm jump rings. You can use 8mm or 7mm jump rings on 8mm beads. But you do want to just keep it within a millimeter, okay? So try to stick in theme with picking your beads that you're going to use and your jump rings. Now, the first step one is we are going to take, and you are going to pull off your spool, your stretch cord, and fold it in half, okay? Grab your ruler, and we are going to do a ruler length. A ruler length folded in half. So, in other words, 24 inches of stretch, okay? That is what you're going to do is step one. Step two is, excuse me, guys, okay? And we will keep our ruler on the mat, and you'll see as we go. Step two is we are going to pretend, because I'm going to show you how I started it out, again, to expedite the video. I've got most of it done, but I'm going to take you right along with me, so you're going to know how to make this. We're going to assume that this is my ruler length, right? So I have folded it in half off my spool, and I cut a ruler length, okay? Now I am going to pre-stretch. The most important step, bar none, in making stretch bracelets is pre-stretching. So once we go along and just gently pull the full length of our stretch cord, it is going to be much longer than the 12 inches that we doubled. So from 24 inches, right, it's going to end up being 26, 27 inches. And that's what you want, because you want room to tie it off. And also we lose cording as we're going, right? We don't lose it, but we use it up because of the style of the bracelet. So fold it in half, cut your ruler length, and you'll have 24 inches. And now just notice how I'm going back and forth a couple times, gently tugging it, pre-stretching the full length, couple, 2, 3 times until I feel comfortable. And now I have way more than what I started with. Okay? And now I'm going to put this out of the way, and I'm going to show you exactly how to get this started. And so I now have my stretch, and I am going to grab a bead, and I am going to feed it down one cord. And then I'll find my center. So I'm going to marry up my ends. And there's my first bead. Okay? Now I am going to keep my cords together and feed down a jump ring. Every time I put a jump ring down, I'm putting my cords together. And there it goes. And now I am going to separate my cords. I'm going to grab one side, and I'm going to grab a bead and put it down one cord. Let that drop down. I am now going to put my cords back together and put on a jump ring. So essentially we're alternating bead, jump ring, bead, jump ring. But every time I put a jump ring down, I'm putting it down both of my cords. Okay? Now, notice right here, the last cord that I used to put that bead down. Okay, so that bead, that Jasper, just went down this side right here. So I need to grab the opposite one on the opposite side. And now I'm going to put my next bead down. And let it drop. I'm going to pick up both ends. And I put down a jump ring. Let that fall down. I am now going to grab the opposite cord of what I just used for my jade, which is this side over here. So that was the last cord I used for the jade. I'm going to come to the other side, and I'm going to feed on a Jasper. Let it pull down. I'm going to put my cords together, and I'm going to put on a jump ring. And now I got to go to the opposite cord that I just put that bead down, which is this side over here. And I'm going to put a bead down that cord. Let it drop down. Because I put a bead on, I now got to put my cords together, and I need to feed a jump ring down both of my strands and let my jump ring go down. And I'm just going to continue to alternate, and I'll stop right there. And do you see how it's starting to take shape? Okay. And that's exactly how I started it out. Okay. Okay, so let me pause right there, push you down, and if we're not going to use a bail, and let's say that you're done. So what you would then do is you are going to go ahead and put on your last jump ring. Keep your cords together, okay, and put on your last bead. Down both of your cords if you're not using a bail. And we want to end it right here. But there's both my cords down that last bead. And there we go. And that ended it just exactly the way that I started it. Okay? And then, of course, we're going to finish it off, and I'm going to show you how to knot it right now. But I'm going to put a bail on mine. So let me see if I get this all pulled down. And let me actually put my bail down both my strands. So I do end with a bail when I'm doing the goddess, because I wanted to hide my knot. So let me put my bail on, and I can do my final measurement here. Okay, and see if I'm good or am I too big. Guys, that's literally perfect. So do you see what I mean? Do you see how I'm not pulling on my bracelet at all? I just simply laid it around my wrist, and by laying it around my wrist, my beads are touching. My bail is touching my last bead. Okay, you see that? And that's exactly what you want. You don't really want them overlapped. It'll be too tight. And you don't want a big gap either. You just want to lay it around your wrist without pulling. And there you go. If you're touching or just slightly overlapping like this, we know we're done. And so we're done right there. Now, let me just pull you up one more time just to make sure, because I love you guys. And I love this request because what a beauty, by the way. This is just gorgeous. I love this bag. I just want to go over one more time what we just did at the end. So once you have gotten to the length that you need, okay, and you're ending your bracelet, we end it with a jump ring down both strands, and then we keep our strands together from here to complete our project. We then feed down our last bead down both strands of our cord. Okay, and then I'm going to put my bail on. Okay, and I'm done with all that. We're done with our beads. And now here's what we're going to do. we are going to push you down. Okay, so we're done with all of this. Now we just have to make our fun little dangles. Okay, so now here's what we've got, guys. We've got our cords right here. Okay. You are going to separate your cords. Okay. I'm going to grab the other side of my bracelet and notice how I have my stretch cord. Can you see it right here, you guys? How it's coming out the side? I am just simply going to grab one of my tails. Okay, we separated them at the end here. And I am going to push it through right there. Right between that first jump ring, and this is why we want to have extra so nothing falls off, and we can kind of pull it a little bit like this. Okay, so just slide it so you got some working room. And grab a tail. I'm going to slide it right between that first bead and that jump ring, in between that cord. Right there. Okay, you see that? Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and pull it. And then I'm going to grab my other tail. And I'm going to put them together. And now, there we go. Do you see what we have? So one of my cords is going through that first bead, right? Through the first part of the cord. Right there. And then here's my other tail over here. And now they are together. Now we are going to begin to focus right here on making our surgeon knot rule. And then that knot will end up getting hidden forever right there in that bail. So I'm going to keep you down. Here's what I do, guys, is we're going to do a regular overhand knot. Okay, so I've got you down and you can see what I'm doing. So I'm going to do a regular overhand knot. And I'm going to go ahead and pull. Now, every time I pull, I'm going to be pulling a little tighter each time. But when I get it started, I'm just going to pull kind of like, basically, like gently, not excessively, okay? Because you don't want to snap your cord, okay? You don't want to do that. So see where my knot is already, wanting to get cut way up in there. I've got to get that brought together way closer because he's too far apart. And that's normal because we're dealing with stretch. I just got to get them to come out here. There we go. And get you pulled a little bit better there. Try to get that pulled as close as I can. He's just wanting to get way buried on me. Let me get everything pulled down here. Sometimes we need to do that too. Help it along. Okay, now, there we go. I got you guys all nice and close. Okay. And so now we're going to focus right there. And I am now going to go ahead and start with my surgeon's knot. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a regular overhand knot, putting this cord from the back to the front on the right, and then this left side goes from the back, from the front through the back. Okay, and then right there is my triple knot. That's a surgeon's knot. And I'm going to make sure I'm focusing to make sure that it's going to land right in that same spot. And I'm going to pull it. Every time I do this, I'm going to pull it a little bit tighter. Now I'm going to pick it up off the mat, and I'm going to take and crisscross underneath. So this cord's going to go this way, and the cord that's over here is going to go this way. I'm just essentially crisscrossing underneath to just give myself added security. I'm going to come to the top, and then we do our third knot. So we're going to just do this around a regular loop. We're going to come over here with this cord and push it through our loop to the back. And there's our surgeon's knot. And we'll pull it and make sure it lands right where it needs to be. Right there. And pulling it a little tighter. I'm going to pick it up. And again, crisscross underneath. I'm just crossing underneath my tails. And now we will do it again. So regular overhand knot on this side. And then over here on this tail, I'm going to go from front to the back and push it right through that same loop. And that gives us our surgeon's knot. And you can see, right there's my surgeon's knot. I'm going to pull, make sure I'm staying right in that section. And pull it nice and tight. And one more time, we're going to go ahead and crisscross underneath. So pulling this side this way, this tail this way, back to the top. And then again, for our fifth and final knot, we will just go from back to front with this tail. And then on this side, we will take this tail and go from front to back and pull it through. And right there is our triple surgeon's knot. We will then make sure we're staying, pull, and now we'll give it a nice pull, guys. Nice and snug, and all we need is scissors. And there we go. And then what I do is I'm just going to go ahead, and I can see that my knot is right there. Okay, I'm going to always make sure I'm staying at least a 1/4 inch away from my knot. I don't like to cut it too close. And just grab a regular pair of scissors and snip it off. We didn't have much waste. And now that knot is forever in that belt. You can't even see where it is. And now I shall add my dangles. I already started, I'm going to wire wrap them. I already started the first one. The start of a wire wrap loop. I'm just going to pop that open. And I'm going to feed that on my bell. And we'll get that. I think I'm going to do 2 dangles. I'm feeling it. This is just so vibey to me. I'm just loving this. I love, love, love this color palette. So I hope you guys enjoyed. We haven't done a goddess bracelet. We certainly haven't done a stretch, and I don't even know when on the channel. So thank you so much, my love, for suggesting. And I hope that this inspires you, and I hope I did a good enough job. And we've got that. We're going to trim it off. And, you know, if you didn't want to use a bail, and you just want to do some wire wrap loops right to your stretch, you can do that too. Because they're wire wrap, they're not going to probably give you too much problem. If you do a wire wrap loop right directly in your stretch cord, you can do that too. So there's my first dangle. And then I'm going to do my other one the opposite. So I'm going to do first my old lace 4mm, then my 6mm khaki, and then my 3mm tan. And I'll just put my pliers right snug there. My right band, pull that up and around. And we will do a little wire wrap loop situation here. See if I think I can get both of them on there. Yep, I think so. And pop that right inside that loop of my bail. Let that pop in there. I'm going to go ahead and close and hold that. And wrap that around. And trim that off, tuck it in, and we'll see what we have. Well, we've got project 2 under our belt, that's for sure. That makes me happy. And I thank you guys so much for tuning in. I hope this inspires you. And I hope you will try to make a goddess bracelet of your own out of stretch, because it is so easy, guys. It's so cost effective. And I love it. And they wear for years. And also, you know, notice I didn't use any glue. No need to use glue. So there's my dangles, by the way. That's cool. Love it. And let me pull you, well, I'll keep you down so you can see. And so there is our asymmetrical goddess stretch bracelet with my dangles. That's what that looks like. And even if you had some colored stretch, that would be cool too. And there we go, my lovies. And that's what that looks like. And let me go ahead and I'm going to do my try-on and get it all organized. And it's just the perfect size. That's what that looks like. So gorgeous. Oh my gosh, you guys. Stunning. Okay, my lovies, thank you guys so much again for being with me. And I hope you are having fun in your sparkle bags. And I can't wait for project 3. Until the next one, my lovies, be blessed.